night of sleep, that varies from person to person, but at the end of the day, it is crucial to start the next day on the right side of the bed. Whether you need to get your kids into a routine before school starts, or you're trying to break your own bad sleep habits, we have you covered today. Dr. Carlos Paxton from Carolina Pediatrics is here with some advice, some tips, some tricks to help your kids and maybe even you get the rest you need. Doctor, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Let's kind of start on a broad level. What happens to us whether we are teenagers, 10 years old, or 40-something if we don't get enough sleep?
If we don't get enough sleep, our computer, which is our brain, does not function properly. So the next day we'll be sleepy, we'll be cranky, we'll be fussy, and we will not be ready to learn.
Yeah, particularly for kids, younger kids, teenagers. What kinds of problems do you see in school when they don't get enough sleep?
Mainly behavioral problems or learning problems.
And so let's talk about what is the right amount of sleep.
Perfect. Between 3 and 5 years of age, you expect them to have between 10 to 13 hours of sleep.
Woo!
The younger you are, the more time you need to sleep.
Really?
Between 6 and 12 years, you need 9 to 12 hours. But then between 13 and 18 years old, it's only 8 to 10 hours. So as you see, the younger you are, the more sleep time you need.
Yet when I was 16, you couldn't get me out of bed before noon to save my life. So, well, I don't know. I was backwards about that. The problem is kids don't want to sleep, especially the younger kids. They want to stay up as late as they can, and then they got to get up for school. What is your advice for parents when it comes to trying to get kids to sleep a little bit earlier?
The most important thing is to have a good bedtime routine in which you do the same thing over and over and you repeat that. Avoid all screen time at least 1 hour before you go to bed. That's critical. Avoid all noises in the room, like avoid TVs or any screen time during sleep time. Use the bed only to sleep and not to go and look at your phone or your tablet or anything like that. Use it only to sleep. If you set up a good bed routine and the same time to go to sleep every day, that will help you a lot.
Do those same rules apply for adults?
Absolutely, they do.
So we have to put our phones away.
It is important, and for adults it's important because it's estimated that people who sleep 6 hours or less a day, adults, have higher risk for heart disease and also for dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh, we don't want any of that, so we will get our sleep. What is your take on using white noise, those kinds of things? A friend of mine stayed at my house this past weekend, and she used very loud white noise, and I thought, ooh, I bet you've had that since you were a kid and you need it now. What is your take on that?
For most people, we do advise not to have any noise at all. But for some, it does work to have a fan or have something that helps you to fall asleep. Sometimes for me, a little background noise may help me. So yes, it's different for everybody. But in general, if you are not used to it, it's best not to have any noises.
And so, but you don't want it to be a noise that your brain has to pay attention to, right?
Correct, correct. Not a song that you are hearing to the lyrics, or for example, mom vacuuming during the time in which the child is trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Avoid all noises as possible. Don't be watching a soap opera in the living room with high volume and the kids are trying to go to sleep.
You know, it's so hard. How much of this conversation is really encouraging the parents to be modeling that behavior in that way so that kids will just follow it naturally?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so important. Let's go ahead and put all of the information for Carolina Pediatrics up on the screen, because I know y'all have, whether you're grandparents or aunties or moms and dads, you've got lots of questions about sleep. Of course, they'll always help you out. Doctor, thank you so much for being here. We
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Lovely to talk to you. How many hours of sleep should I get at night?
At least 6 to 8 hours.
Uh-oh. All right, we'll do our best. We'll do our best, Doctor.